Okay, we're going to do something really cool with a custom field to help explore organic search data. We're going to add in the custom field, we're going to add a field to capture question words in queries. So who, how, why, what, when, where. And the same technique you could use for a lot of different things. But in this case, the idea would be if we're thinking about creating content, blog posts, I don't know, building a content hub around a topic, being able to explore the question queries that you're showing up for is really helpful. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is go to added data sources. I'm going to pick this. This is a Google Search Console data source. And I'm going to add a field. And I'll call this question words. And I'm going to create a case statement. And I'm going to say when. And I'll do this regex match. And I'm going to be matching the query. And I'm going to add a regular expression. And I'm going to just look for cases where a query begins with a word. So I'm going to say who, and then space, because I just want to match who, not whose or whom. These are different words. And then I'm going to use the dot star syntax from regular expressions, which means basically match anything that comes after this. And then I'm going to say then, and we'll make that who. And I'll do the same thing for a couple of different queries. So what, when, why, where. Then I'm going to throw in an else and just say other. So if it doesn't match any of those things, then it'll return other. So it's creating a custom field. I'm now going to be able to use this field in my reports, and the field is going to be called question words, and it's going to have one of these values based on how it matches the query. So I'm going to save that. Okay, now I'm going to insert a table here. And I'm going to replace the dimension here with the query. And I'll go ahead and put in impressions, clicks, CTR, average position. Got some detail. Give the query a little bit more room. Okay, so now the next thing is kind of I think the fun part. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a drop-down list over here, and I'm going to change the drop-down list to my question words. And I can probably make this a little smaller. Now we can quick have a look at what this looks like. So viewing this, we now have this list, and so it turns out that in this data set I've got some where queries. I don't have instances of the others. So I do I don't know, getting some nice where queries there. Let's maybe try increasing our date range. So we'll go ahead and look at this year. And yeah, so now we're getting a little bit more, still not a lot of question queries in this data, but we've got a couple examples of what here, and this is showing clicks. Let's actually change that to show impressions. And so you'll notice that you can add this metric to the dropdown, which it'll show you how many of that metric you got. And in organic, impressions can be pretty helpful. It's a richer data set. Like not everything gets a click. So we're going to put that in there. But then the other thing that I'm going to do is, because this tab is called question queries, I'm going to go ahead and add a filter to this table here, and I'm going to say I'll just call this question queries. I'm going to say that the question words, and I'm going to say equal to other, and then this is including. We want to change this to exclude. Okay, so now we're only getting those question words in the query, and then let's go ahead and view that. So we're getting all question words here. We're looking at not just queries that got clicks, but we're also looking at getting queries that got impressions. And the way this menu works, I think it's a little not very intuitive, but you have to click this only if you only want to see this. You could also click all these checkboxes, but it's a little faster if I wanted to look at just what queries. So look at that. Isn't that cool? That's all.